If you're a facilities manager at a warehouse and your HVAC system goes down, it can turn up the heat, literally. But don't sweat it, Grainger has you covered. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products for all your operations, including warehouse HVAC maintenance. And even better, they offer access to experts and fast delivery, so you and your warehouse can both keep your cool. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Busy days and long to-do lists? Don't forget about your eyes. Pearle Vision has stylish frames from brands like Dolce & Gabbana, Michael Kors, and more. Visit pearlevision.com to schedule your eye exam and get 40% off lenses. Pearle Vision works with all major vision plans, including iMed and VSP. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating locations. Restrictions apply. Taxes extra. See store for details. Ends August 31st, 24. Exams available at the Independent Doctors of Optometry at or next to Pearle Vision. Some doctors employed by Pearle Vision.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A very special day on this program each and every year. As you know, for the longest time, we did a very special 1 hour on the VJ Day special. And the good part about the fact that we no longer have to format this program for our radio stations that we used to have, we had very specific things that we had to do, and we could only do things in 20-minute blocks. And we had to include commercial time for the network and commercial time for the stations and news time. So we only had 40 minutes in each hour. The good part about this is that I'm able to float things quite a bit more. We are going to have 2 episodes that are not related to VJ Day today, which will be Mystery in the Air, starring Peter Lorre, and Have Gun Will Travel, starring John Dehner as Paladin. And I'm including those 2 for specific reasons. We played part 1 of the Have Gun Will Travel last Wednesday, and we had the Mystery in the Air because it is a short series, summer series that Peter Lorre did, and it's his only starring roles in radio, and I think he did such an outstanding job. But we're also going to do something we didn't used to do. We're going to take a look at this date in history. But we'll also bring you the announcements from the run-up and all that. H.V. Kaltenborn talking about it, reactions from people all across the nation. And, of course, Norman Corwin's 14 August, which was written on very, very short notice after the detonation of the bombs and the surrender of Japan. That's all coming up on this Wednesday, and you know what that means. This is the 14th day of August, 227th day of the year, 139 days remaining. International forces entered Beijing on this date in 1900 in an effort to suppress the anti-foreign uprising known as the Boxer Rebellion. It was on this date in 1935 the Social Security Act became law.
If the Senate and the House of Representatives had done nothing more than pass this Social Security Act, the session would be regarded as historic for all time.
President Roosevelt on the passing of Social Security back in 1935. It was on this date 79 years ago today, Japan surrendered to the U.S., ending World War II.
At exactly 10 seconds after 7:35 this morning, August 14th, from London, Swiss radio has announced that Japan has accepted the Allied note. This is a Reuters dispatch from London. The Swiss radio has announced that Japan has accepted the Allied note. There you have confirmation from the Swiss radio of acceptance by Japan of the Allied note requesting surrender on the terms with which we are already all familiar. And there was the historic moment in this country, the conclusion of the war in the Pacific. We read that flash to you at 10 seconds after 7:35 just as it came off the Reuters news printer from London.
And we'll have more audio from that date in just a few minutes. On this date in 1947, Pakistan became independent of British rule. 1951, newspaper publisher William Randolph Hearst died in Beverly Hills, California. In 1995, Shannon Faulkner made history. She became the first female cadet at the Citadel, the state military college of South Carolina. In 1997, Timothy McVeigh sentenced to death for the Oklahoma City bombing. In 2003, the largest blackout in American history hit the Northeast.
It's creepy. I don't care. I'm getting a flashback from September 11th. I don't like this.
Almost 2 years after the September 11 attacks, New Yorkers uneasy when the lights went out. Power outage through parts of the Northeast and Midwestern U.S., most parts of the Canadian province of Ontario on this date. Beginning just after 4:10 in the afternoon, most places restored power by midnight. After white nationalists marched in Charlottesville, Virginia, President Trump condemning white supremacist groups and vowed to fight for the future of the American youth.
We will spare no resource in fighting so that every American child can grow up free from violence and fear.
And still to this day, people think he supports white supremacists. Go figure. Let's look at people who passed on this date. They include rock singer Johnny Burnett, actor Oscar Levant, Dorothy Stratton, the actress and model, Enzo Ferrari, the car maker, Judge John Sirica, and Tony Williams of the Platters. Birthdays on this date include Doc Holliday, the gambler gunfighter, David Crosby, the guitarist and songwriter, and pro wrestler Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Turning 78 years old today, Steve Martin. One of those wild and crazy guys. Now he's just happy at 78 playing bluegrass. Steve Martin's 78 today. The surviving half of the group Seals and Crofts, Dash Crofts, 86 today. Actress Susan St. James is 78. Novelist Danielle Steele is 77. Former WWF champion, actually I think at that time it was WWF champion, Bob Backlund, 75 years old, still alive, still in a remarkable shape. He's a Looney Tunes. Bob Backlund, 75. Cartoonist Gary Larson is 74. Computer game author Cliff Johnson is 54. NASCAR driver Rusty Wallace, 67 today. Actress Marcia Gay Harden is 65. Magic Johnson, also 65 today. Soprano Sarah Brightman, 64. The real Cindy Brady, Susan Olsen, is 63. Another pro wrestler, Kofi Kingston, in the WWE, 43 today, still active. Actress Mila Kunis is 41. And the delightful Halle Berry turns 58 today.
These are my husband's drawings right here. Lawrence, my husband, he got himself electrocuted over there in Jackson.
From the 2002 motion picture Monster Ball, she won a Best Actress Oscar, the first black woman to win a Best Actress Oscar for playing the widow of a death row inmate in Monster Ball. Halle Berry, 58 today. Those just a few of the people who celebrate this 14th day of August as their birthday, and if this is your birthday...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
All right, we're going to go back with a very loosey-goosey show today. Our annual look at this date, 79 years ago, VJ Day, August 14th, 1945, the end of World War II. That's coming up next here on this Wednesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
If you're a facilities manager at a warehouse and your HVAC system goes down, it can turn up the heat, literally. But don't sweat it, Grainger has you covered. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products for all your operations, including warehouse HVAC maintenance. And even better, they offer access to experts and fast delivery, so you and your warehouse can both keep your cool. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to TryLifeMD.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We're going to take you to a mutual line recording of this date 79 years ago, very early in the morning of August 14th, 1945, as rumors were trickling out about the possible surrender of Japan that would end World War II.
From the Mutual Newsroom in New York, Tokyo Radio says acceptance of Potsdam Proclamation coming soon. I repeat, Tokyo Radio says acceptance of Potsdam Proclamation coming soon. One moment, please. Please, I repeat this bulletin. Tokyo Radio says acceptance of Potsdam Proclamation coming soon. A bulletin from San Francisco. Tokyo Radio said today that an imperial message accepting the Potsdam Proclamation would be forthcoming soon. Repeating that bulletin from San Francisco, Tokyo Radio said today that an imperial message accepting the Potsdam Proclamation would be forthcoming soon. For the news, listen to your Mutual station.